Welcome to Adjuster Talk. Are you trying to get your first claims as an independent adjuster? Find out the easy steps to break into the industry with our Steps to Becoming an Adjuster guide. Download for free at adjustertalk.show.
Hey IAs, this podcast is powered by Royal Adjusting. If you're a new, aspiring, or veteran property adjuster, head over to royaladjustingservices.com and join the roster for work opportunities. Welcome to the new Adjuster Talk podcast by IA Path. This is a special edition of Adjuster Talk because Hurricane Ian has just really done a lot of damage to Florida and the Eastern Seaboard as it continues. I'm your host, Chris Stanley. I'm joined by the founder of this podcast, my co-host, Jason Heenan. Now, Jason, if you can't see the humanity, like as an adjuster, to remember the souls and the families and the homes that have been destroyed by watching the news, I don't know how to help you, because we're all talking dollars and cents a lot, but people's lives were uprooted. A lot of people. Can you talk for a minute before we get to our topic about just that empathy, how important it is that we remember what's going on to the insureds right now?
Yeah, compassion is everything, Chris. When it comes down to everything at the end of the day, if a person is trainable, we can train them how to do Xactimate. We can train them how to scope a house. We can tell them how to wear their clothes and dress code and that kind of thing. But if you're just not a compassionate person, this was a good, there's many ways to make money and earn money. Compassion is so very important, and understanding just how important your role is in the claim and how important you are to that insured. Those are major priorities. Customer service is, you could consider that the highest priority outside of safety and some other obvious ones. Customer service is so important.
Totally. Now, this storm really hit close to home for me on many levels. One, Florida is my home. I love it. My sailboat was in Port Charlotte. The eye of the hurricane went over my sailboat. I have no idea how it is at this point, but that's my family's home. We have no idea. And my parents live in Port Charlotte. That's why we left our boat there. The eye of the hurricane went over our boat and then went over their house. Their house is okay. They were safe in North Carolina, so everything's good there. But so it was a really crazy week for me personally as well. And so I've got a new, fresh perspective on the empathy, the uncertainty everybody's feeling. They're potentially states away and have no idea of the state of their property, and watching the news, assuming the worst, like hoping for the best. So these people are really going through it. Today on the podcast, we have a panelist, Koby Hearn. He is the business expert at IA Path. He's also our CCC1 instructor, RV instructor, and overall, he is someone who really understands high level the business of adjusting on a deeper level than I think anybody I've ever met. He really sees things in dollars and cents, and that doesn't mean he doesn't have common sense. He has lots of that too, but he really sees the business side. So I'm excited to have him here today because the topic we're going to be presenting is, it's Hurricane Ian. Should you stay or should you go? This is a big question most people are considering right now. There's so much opportunity to go down to Florida to hopefully do well and make good money, but that's not the only opportunity. So Koby, I'm going to open up with you because you're not a cat guy, and I'll let you elaborate on that, but you're not really a cat guy. So what are some of the other opportunities that are going on right now that people have available to them that they might not even realize?
Well, thanks again for having me on here, Chris. Yeah, I'm the first to tell you, I'm not looking for a deployment, and that's my last, my very last thing on my list that I would ever do, especially a cat like this we're in. It's not something that fits my business and what I like. I like staying at home, being at home every night in my bed, eating warm meals, not worrying about I may have to move or, whatever, or, looking at that catastrophic damage that I can't even fathom seeing the news clips. So I think that, in your mind, you have to make some decisions, and unfortunately it has to be pretty quick. You don't have a lot of time. As we're recording this right now, there's decisions that need to be made from all of you, all the listeners out there. But for me, it goes back to your business and what your model is. So there's daily claims. You can run daily property, daily auto, specialty claims, and understand this. If you didn't know this, right now, every major carrier and firm is pulling every available resource to head down to Florida and the coast because they're already severely understaffed as it was. They're sending everybody. I mean, it's all hands on deck. So guess what that's going to do? It's going to leave a lot of areas completely open and in need of IAs, in particular for auto, for property, for everything, because there's still going to be your sewage, backup claims. There's going to be your autos that collide. And obviously, we just got hit with a hailstorm last week here in Minnesota. So there's plentiful hail claims or just overall different types of claims that are going to be in your daily area that firms are going to need help with. It's not their first priority, obviously, but all of a sudden they're going to have to backfill a lot of positions. So you have opportunities there to get into the daily game and show them that you're ready and, hey, maybe I can make a sustainable business right here in my backyard. And the other thing that's really prevalent right now is remote opportunities. I wish TJ was here to talk more about that, but she's talked about it a lot. There's going to be a lot of desk deployments, a lot of, hey, we want you to sit in your Jimmy Jams 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. And we want you to review property files. We want you to do auto files. We want you to do total losses, floods, which I think Chris is having an amazing, tutorial on how to handle flood claims. So there's a million opportunities that happen, not just down at the site of a hurricane, but across the United States because of the resources it demands and commands to be there. So be open and mobile, but again, make sure you have, utility belt of different things that you may be able to do. For me, I've even gotten a call about doing remote boats or I may have to do Chris Stanley's sailboat. If I wanted to, I could sit behind the desk and handle that for them. Allstate's doing it. A lot of carriers are doing that. So there's a lot of different types of claims, and whether you do it daily in the field or you're looking at remote from wherever you are in the country, they may bring you in and train you for a little bit. But for the most part, they're going to have you go home because they don't want to be paying per diem. So they're going to send you back and have you, work in your Jimmy Jams and knock out claims. So there's other opportunities. Just know it's all hitting, in succession of them asking you and seeing where they can fill all these different roles. Field, I would say dailies, if you feel like you missed out on the storm, it would not shock me at all. It'll take a week or two after the storm has hit for them to start trying to backfill the daily claims in these different areas. So don't panic about that. That's probably one that'll come a little bit later. I don't know if I'd hold out for it if you're really wanting to get in the cat, but it's something to think about.
Yeah, Kagan Blackburn, Jason's met Kagan. He's an amazing individual young man that just blows my mind with the way he's navigated this industry so well. But he did his first hurricane. It wasn't a huge smashing success, but then he got a follow-up hurricane that same year. He smashed that one out of the park. And then the next year, he had a storm kind of fizzle out and decided on staying for daily claims. So now he doesn't have to chase anymore. But he's a great example of somebody who's done that on the property side. So if you've been on a storm and you have some experience, or you're uncomfortable chasing the storm down to Florida, like Koby's saying, it's totally possible and has been done a lot of times. Jason, what are your thoughts kind of on that? If you're new, is it possible on the property side to jump into dailies now because of the need in an area? Or if you're new, should you just go to the storm?
Chris, opportunity comes in many different forms, and a storm like this is going to just be an adjuster vacuum to Florida. And what Koby's saying is 100% accurate. What you said about Keegan is completely accurate. There will be opportunities local. We run into this very same issue. Koby's saying next week. I'm saying that I just ran an ad for Atlanta, Georgia, because we have some sluggers in Atlanta that want to go down to the coast and, rightfully so, go make some money and help some people out. So there are going to be many regular business positions being advertised just here at the beginning of October for the first week or two. It'll be very interesting, and it's a good time to be engaged in your market if you're not ready to take those right now, and maybe you're looking for some training at IA Path. Now is a good time to start seeing that market and understanding what it is we're talking about, so you can see what an opportunity looks like when it comes through. I'm talking about a job ad, and then seeing how those who take advantage of it, see how they do. So this is a major opportunity, whether you want to go to the storm, whether you want to be a remote desk adjuster, or somebody that goes out. I know that there's agent advocates getting positions right now, just helping agents handle the amount of customer service. There's positions I've seen advertised for people who are just doing advanced checks for additional living expenses to insureds that walk up to the catastrophic response units, the CRUs is what they call them. Which are just buses basically with customer service reps, and they're ready to help out customers. So yeah, opportunity comes in many forms on a major hurricane, and you probably don't have to look far right now if you're poking around.
The thing I like about trying to make something in dailies work if you're new is if you don't have a big buffer, like we talked about in previous episodes, it's a lot less risky to accept a few local daily claims. There's not a lot of expenses involved in that, but running down to Florida is going to be very expensive. Hotels hard to find, gas hard to find. You're going to be driving all over God's green earth inspecting things. So if you're not in a position to do something really high risk, you can kind of table your chips and go with something a little safer, like pursuing daily claims, ladder assist even in your local area, whatever it is that you can find as a new opportunity, daily auto, heavy equipment, RV claims, any of that. So I think that's a way less risk, and that can really empower you as an individual to say, I wasn't ready to go all in on this storm, but yeah, let me pursue that. Now that I have some training and my license, let me pursue getting daily work. All right, guys, any final thoughts, Koby, on should I stay or should I go? Anything people should be considering before we head out?
Make sure you talk to your family, to your friends, to people close to you. Talk to those people. Don't be, I know Chris and Jason and myself love to help, but it's based on your situation. So understand that a lot of this has to be based on your business and your situation and what's right for you. And I don't think there's a wrong choice here. I think it's just one's going to be better for you than the other. But either way, as long as you persevere through it, I really see you coming out the other side of this in our industry and having sustainability, as long as you don't sit and do nothing. Inaction will lead to more inaction down the road.
Jason, any final thoughts?
What Koby said, get in the habit right now of taking action and understanding what's going on, and do your homework, do your math. Let's go.
And we talked about it in the previous episode. You kind of at the beginning are like a squirrel gathering nuts. You're saying yes to every opportunity that comes your way. And kind of I would say at IA Path is you say yes to survive. You say yes to those first opportunities to get your teeth cut, to get in the industry. But then once you're established, you can be a little pickier about your opportunities, like we talked about last episode. Then you say no to thrive. So yes to survive, yes to get started, and then no to thrive when you're ready to transition and kind of develop your life. So right now, decide what you can do, what you're willing to risk. Don't bet anything you're not willing to lose, because you could lose it all. You could flop. You could fail to close, or you could not get any daily claims because you stayed home and asked for them, but no one gave them to you. But only risk what you're willing to lose. That way, there's no regrets. It's only a decision and an action that you're pursuing, and it's just a learning opportunity. But it doesn't put you in a bad place. So, all right, until next time, keep walking your path and claiming your life, and get out there. It's claim time.
We know that becoming a successful independent adjuster can be hard and lonely. When you join the IA Path Adjuster Mentorship Community, you get everything you need to succeed, including access to IA Path mentors, on-demand adjuster training, and a community of over 500 adjusters who are walking the same path that you are. And we would love to walk this journey with you. You can get a free 7-day trial at adjustertalk.show. Keep walking your path and claiming your life.